from the ICMA Conference at Tampa, Florida, this is GovLove, a podcast about local government, brought to you by Engaging Local Government Leaders. I'm Meredith Reynolds, Deputy City Manager at the City of Long Beach, California, and your GovLove host for today. GovLove is produced by ELGL, and you can support GovLove by becoming an ELGL member. ELGL is a national volunteer-run, membership-based nonprofit organization with a mission to engage the brightest minds in local government. Check us out and learn more about our $50 annual membership at elgl.org. Also this year, we are celebrating 10 years of the GovLove podcast. Help us commemorate this important milestone by calling the GovLove hotline at 720-282-1752 and leave us a message with your favorite GovLove memories or your predictions on the next 10 years of local government. You just might be featured on an upcoming GovLove episode. And now, on with our show. Today's guests are Amber Cabrera and Maylee De Jesús. Amber Cabrera currently serves as the Program Manager in the Economic Development Division at the City of Fort Lauderdale. Amber has a Master's in Public Administration from Lynn University, and in 2021 served as an ICMA Senior Management Fellow for the City of Fort Lauderdale. She also serves as a Vice President of Programs and Special Events for the Latinos in Florida Local Government, which is a regional chapter of the Local Government Hispanic Network. Maylee De Jesús is the City Clerk for the City of Boynton Beach since May of 2022, but previously served in the Clerk's office in different capacities and in different municipalities over the last 18 and a half years. After going to school part-time for over 10 years, from her associate's degree to her master's degree, she graduated from Florida Atlantic University with a master's in public administration as a single mother of 2 daughters. Maylee is a master municipal clerk and is a part of many municipal organizations. She currently serves as the president of the Latinos in Florida Local Government Chapter. Welcome to both of you. So nice to see you today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to do a fun lightning round to get started. So this is, kind of get all the cobwebs out. Amber, let's start with you. What is one fun fact about you?
My family's from Honduras and Belize, and my father is a member of the British Empire, signed by Queen Elizabeth. Yes.
Oh, very fun. Okay. Some royalty there. I appreciate it. Maylee, what about you? Fun fact.
Fun fact, I am a big kid. I'm a huge Disney fan.
Disney fan?
I
All right.
am.
Do you have a favorite character?
Ursula.
Okay.
Ursula's my favorite villain. Tiana's my favorite princess.
Nice. Okay. Well, and for the listeners here, she has some phenomenal nails done by her daughter, and they are incredible. So if you ever check out Maylee in real life, I'm sure she'll have another set on for you. So
Absolutely.
All right. Maylee, what's the last movie or TV show you watched?
So I watched the movie Him, and I'm not a fan of thrillers or scary movies, and I was talked into going to watch this movie. So needless to say, I needed probably like 3 Disney movies afterwards, just to, sleep
Cleanse
at
the
night.
palate.
Yeah. And you're like, never again.
No, not letting them talk me into a scary movie again.
Nice. All right. What about you, Amber?
So, for movie, don't make fun of me, K-pop Demon Hunters. I have 4 children, so I definitely got sucked into the craze. I love it. I am golden. We all are golden.
Yes. That is a popular one in my office as well. So, all right. What is a book, article, or podcast, Amber, that you'd recommend for other local government professionals to check out?
Oh, that's a hard one because I haven't really been reading. I've been studying for an exam lately. I would say PM Magazine. There's always great articles in there. And regardless of your specific industry or specialty, there's something that can be garnered from it. So I would definitely say PM Magazine.
Yep. Very good. What about you?
There's a gentleman that's local to South Florida that I've recently been following. His name is Carlos Mejia, and he has like a podcast where he speaks to local leaders, local Hispanic leaders.
Nice.
And so I've been following him lately, and he has some great podcasts. So
all right, we'll check him out. All
yeah,
right. Very nice. Okay, so last one here is a local question. What is one quintessential Tampa activity that you recommend others visit or try?
Ybor City.
Tell me more.
So Ybor City is a strip in Tampa that is, pretty much their nightlife,
Okay.
and it's fun, it's funky, it's like only in Ybor. But there's also an improv comedy club there. There's a lot of restaurants and just fun things to do.
Okay. What about you?
For me, I am a big beach girl, and so
Okay.
I love the beach. I love going, and especially on the west side of Florida, their sunsets are amazing. So for me, I think Clearwater Beach, going and watching the sunset is like, you have to do it.
This
You
sounds
have to
like,
watch it.
both of these sounds like so much fun. Like, I gotta add them to the itinerary while I'm here. Awesome. Well, thanks for playing the lightning round, and we'll kind of jump into our conversation for today. But I'd like to start kind of with your origin story. So where did you get the bug for local government, for public service, and how has that led you into some of the aspects of your career? And so, Maylee, let's start with you.
Okay. So I started when I was 20, and I just had my first daughter. She was 3 months old. And for me, it was just it was a steady job, something
Sure.
that it was Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It was a stable job, and I had previous experience as in Future Business Leaders of America in high school.
Oh, nice.
And so I did like typing contests and stuff like that in high school.
Yeah.
And so I knew a lot of, the business letters, memos, and how to type very quickly. And so for me, when a family friend told me about this position, which was an agenda clerk in the clerk's office in Palm Springs, he's like, oh, you should apply. And so I applied, and the next day they hired me. So, and my typing skills got me through. And then
And probably the fastest hiring process in local government
Yes.
of all time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so, and they had previously interviewed like 13 people before me, and then after me, they were like,
Done.
let's hire her. Yeah.
Done. Okay.
So, but for me at first, it was just a steady job, a stable job. But then I got into it, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this can be a career. This can be something that I can get into. And started looking into going back to school, and eventually I ended up starting, going back to school and moving on from there. And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm not going to stop at just being a city clerk. City manager is the goal. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. Amber, what about you?
So I got into local government much later. I was a paralegal for 15 years doing mass tort litigation.
Okay.
And COVID happened. And everything that was going on in our community, I felt like, how can I get involved? I'm a mom, I work full time, I can't just quit and protest and be a part of the stuff. So I became a poll worker and a census taker.
Wow.
So little by little, I was like, I'm getting engaged. And I was looking for another career opportunity. All these things happening. I says, public administration. That's what I want to do. I want to be a part of my local government. I'm not moving to DC, so what can I do here? And I worked in my master's degree, heard about the fellowship, and that was literally my prayer, is if I could get that fellowship, if I could get into the City of Fort Lauderdale. And God answered that, and here I am 4 years later, having been a fellow, an administrative supervisor, senior assistant to city manager, and now program manager. And it has been the biggest blessing and life-changing opportunity I could have ever asked for.
Yeah. Well, when we walked into today's podcast for our listeners, Amber says, I just got a promotion. So this is all new and fresh and really super awesome. So tell me a little bit more about the fellowship, because I know that that's a big deal.
It is an amazing, amazing opportunity. So ICMA has a program called Local Government Management Fellows. It's targeted for those who have completed their MPA or finishing their MPA as a way to get an opportunity in mid-management and truly get a behind-the-scenes look of what a day in the life of a city manager and in that city manager space. So you're like, a high-level intern.
Yeah.
You get various projects depending on the community. At the City of Fort Lauderdale, I was placed in economic development and government affairs. So while I assisted in the city manager space, I also assisted in that division, attending commission meetings, organizing events we have a really large sister cities collaboration
Oh, great.
there. Yes, it's fantastic. We have 31 sister city relationships in the city of Fort Lauderdale. And again, every community, the way the fellowship program is developed is differently. Some is 1 year, some is 2 years, but it is truly that wraparound. And for someone who's not sure where their niche would be, this really helps to get a little taste of Parks and Recs, Clerk, attorney, facilities, stormwater, who have my heart because they handle all the big things in Fort Lauderdale. But yeah, just get that exposure and say, all right, this really is where I want to go, or maybe this isn't for me and I want to pivot to libraries, which is whatever. But it's a great experience.
And Fort Lauderdale participates in that program pretty regularly, right?
Yes, I would say that we're so good that they usually stay.
That's what you want. That's what some of these programs are for, right? Is that succession plan and the next generation of the local government workforce. And City of Long Beach in California has their own, and I started in that program, so I had a very similar experience to that, where you kind of got you dipped your toe in a little bit of everything to figure out where it was going to be a good fit for you. So I'm always very partial to those programs, and I like asking about them. So
love that. And I see now you've climbed up the ladder from fellow. One of our former fellows is now the assistant director for OMB, the Office of Management and Budget. And again, it's just a beautiful program.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit about the communities that you both work in. So maybe Amber, we'll start with you. Are they large? Are they small? What makes your community unique? What makes the working there special?
Absolutely. So the city of Fort Lauderdale is a big city with a small town vibe.
Okay. How many people?
So we've got, I actually had to write this down just to make sure. Our population is 190,000, give or take. Of course, we have a lot of people who drive in, of course, and visitors to the city. We're a huge tourist community. About 1,600 staff on a regular basis for full time. So as large as we are, it's very tight-knit. If you go to a grocery store, you have a chance of running into a commissioner, or going out to dinner, you could run into the mayor, or it's that close, and say, hey, what's going on with this project? And I saw this at the commission meeting. Sure. Our community is very involved, and we're very much involved with engaging them and always reimagining and wanting their input, so that the changes and development that we're doing in the city actually reflects what the community wants, and not just what the electeds and people in management think they want.
Yeah, honoring that their collective lived experience and the kind of thing that they want out of their government agency.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Maylee, what about you?
So my city's about half the size.
Okay.
We're about 80,000, but we're the third largest municipality in Palm Beach County.
Okay.
There are 39 municipalities within Palm Beach County. We're the third largest.
Okay.
So we have a great community. It's very much a small town kind of feel as well. But we like to do a lot of events. Okay. Right now, currently, this weekend I'm missing is the Pirate Fest. And so
I need to know all the things. Tell me about that.
It's amazing. Pirate Fest is so much fun. And they have people walking around in pirate outfits all day. They have cool different acrobatic things that they're doing.
Oh, wow.
They have shows. They have concerts, people putting on concerts. They have some mermaids. There are mermaids out there. People, mermaids in a pool, swimming around, taking pictures with kids and stuff like that. So we're very family oriented. We try to do everything where family's involved. We have a First Friday event every first Friday of the month. And we just recently had the one in October. It's the Hispanic Heritage one.
Right.
And so I'm very much involved in that one. And we have a lot of different local organizations that come, and they're vendors at our events. So we try to really cater to having our local businesses, show off their business, so that way they can get more business.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how far is your community from Tampa specifically?
I am about 3.5 hours from here.
Okay. And then what about
Same. About 3.5 to 4. I would say 4.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
her community is a good half hour to 45 minutes from mine.
Got it. Okay. For those of us who are geographically challenged, I need the mental picture.
We're in South Florida.
Yeah.
Tampa's not.
Very nice. Very nice. It sounds like really great communities, and you both kind of found your spot in these places and feel like you're connected to the work and connected to community. And I think that's a great place to be for workers and executives to really be able to kind of lean into the mission. And that's a really great thing. I know you both serve on the board for Latinos in Florida Local Government. And so let's talk a little bit about that. Share with our listeners what this organization is, who it serves, maybe some of its strategic values or initiatives that you all are working on. Maylee, we'll start with you.
So the Local Government Hispanic Network, when I first found out, because we were part of the onboarding for the Florida chapter, it's very new here in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So when we first found out about it, I was like, oh, that's really cool, because I'm very much a person who likes to push minorities, whether it's single moms, women,
Sure.
Hispanics, whatever it may be. I'm like, if I could do it, you guys could do it too.
Yeah.
So when I found out about the Local Government Hispanic Network, and I was like, yeah, let's do the Florida chapter. There's so many Latinos over here in Florida. Then I learned more about it, and I was like, oh, it's a professional development for people in government. And a lot of the people that are minorities, and it's not just Latinos, but
sure.
A lot of people that are minorities are, on the lower half of the customer service, and
sure.
So for them to, for me, it was, I want more people to understand that they can be managers, they can be city managers, city clerks, and higher department heads. So I'm very much a person to hey, let's go, let's do
it.
You need help? I got you. What do you need help with? Let's help you professionally grow, and networking is a huge part of that. So,
right.
I love the Local Government Hispanic Network because of that. Because I was like, oh, we can grow within the Latinos, the Latino community, and show off that we can be managers, and we can be.
You inspire to great things,
Yeah. So, and succession planning is a huge thing, and so, we want more people who are on the lower end of the city the city, to say, oh, well, my manager for my department is going to be retiring in a couple years. Maybe that's my position in the future. Yeah. So whatever we can do to help with that professionally, whether it's the Madrinas and Padrinos, which is a mentoring program, we're here to help. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, Amber, you are one who does a lot of some of the initiatives with the organization. So tell me a little bit more about your role in that and what some of those are.
Absolutely, thank you. So some of the initiatives that I've worked with, we've done Noche Latino with the Miami Heat, networking, let your hair down, engage with one another during Hispanic Heritage Month. One of my favorite initiatives that we did was with the Hispanic Police Officers Association with the City of Fort Lauderdale, where we did Three Kings Day. Which for those who aren't aware, it's not at Christmas, it's after. It's the story of the Magi's, of when they came after Jesus was born. And so in the Latino community, that's a really big holiday and celebration. So we were able to give out toys, bicycles, financial literacy books to the community in the city of Fort Lauderdale. And again, it was just a way to honor not just the community, but our culture. Yeah. Out in the open, in front of a popular restaurant. They provided food to the community. PD, fire was there. I brought my children. So my kids were handing out stuff, and they felt good seeing the kids who received the raffle ticket and won that brand new bike. Right. The joy in the family and that kid's eyes to say, I have a brand new bike? Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was very special to be a part of.
That's a cool partnership. I love that.
It really is.
It was a lot of fun.
And, for me, my story with LGHN as I was doing my master's program, I was like, okay, I need guidance. I don't know this whole government thing.
Yeah.
And I saw LGHN under the ICMA website as affiliates. And I saw they have madrinos, padrinos, which, if you don't know, that means godmother and godfather. And I found one in Miami, and I emailed her, and she's like, sure, no problem, I'll help you out. And throughout my master's program, she guided me. And for my interview for fellowship, she guided me. And so she didn't know me from anybody. And that's the power of community. That's the power of mentorship, and that's the power of culture.
Yeah. You want to shout out your person?
Yes, Yaselin.
She's so sweet.
Yes, and I still yet to meet her in person. Yes, we've Zoomed, obviously.
Okay, we need to make this happen.
I know, right? Every
this is like an online
Maybe she's here.
misconnection or something, you know?
Possibly. Every conference, I'm like, are you going? Oh, no, I'm not going to that one. Maybe next time. So it's been 4 years. Maybe one day we'll actually meet and give each other the biggest hug. But yes, so I love LGHN and the opportunities it's provided me. And so I look forward to providing that to others through our Florida chapter.
Yeah, that pay it forward mentality is really, really strong in a lot of our organizations because we know it works, right? And we have examples of it, you know,
Yes.
like this. And I think the other thing is that people get a lot out of it on the receiving end and are willing to then turn around and lift others up as a result. And I think that's awesome. As we're thinking about LGHN and the Florida chapter, what is it that you're kind of focused on in the future? So you've started this relatively new organization. You know, part of it is sort of just putting all the pieces and building blocks together to be able to kind of run effectively. And you have a couple of these programs. So where do you go from here? What are you working on?
So for next year, our main focus is membership engagement. We don't want it to be top down. Again, like I mentioned with community, we don't want to be saying this is what we feel the organization and what Latinos need. No, we want to hear from those in the municipalities, you know, because we are for every member. The amazing thing about LGHN is one membership covers the whole city. So if you're a city partner, everybody's covered. Whether you're maintenance, stormwater, parks and rec, your secretary, you can access those webinars, you can access the mentorship program, you can attend the events.
And we're a lot cheaper than a lot of other organizations.
Yes,
Just
we
putting
are.
it out there.
We're affordable.
Affordability is important because that's part of the removal of barriers for people, right?
Absolutely.
I think that's an important, you know, message to send.
And I think what's so special also is you want to be able to go back home and say, hey, I learned XYZ at work in this webinar, and engage with your family, whether it's your children, extended family, saying, interesting, government does that? Yeah, because that's another way of bringing people to see that local government is powerful. It's impactful and has purpose more than just pushing paper or water billing. And not too many people realize that.
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times, and I've talked about this before, is, you know, we go to junior high, elementary school, junior high, high school, and a lot of what you learn in the civic space is about the federal government, right? And here's the system of democracy we have, here's the branches of government. Maybe there's, depending on the age, you know, some state government information. I know, you know, in California, there's a whole year, I think 4th grade or when you're, you know, in that realm about California missions and California history and all that sort of stuff. And then at some point, the like local government knowledge just kind of drops off. Like we're not really talking about like what a city does or what a county does. And I'd love to see, you know, that change. But at the same time, the local government is sort of the space where you as an individual, as an employee, can have the most impact on community. And it's also the level that the community has the most impact and influence over their local government. And so, like, if you need to pay a parking ticket, if you have a lost dog, if your water doesn't turn on, like, you don't call the federal government. You call your municipality or your township, or if you're in county unincorporated, you call your county. Like,
girl, you're preaching to the choir.
That's the place, right? And that's what's so attractive, I think, for those of us who have that call to service, and that I see in both and hear in both of you, is you really can have that impact at that local level, and being able to have, folks in your culture and Latinos say, hey, I could do that too, and be a part of the solution for their community.
Most certainly. I would say last year, a highlight for me was doing the career fair at my son's school. And the way they did it is you go to the classroom, and I had, a little PowerPoint, but kids, there were fifth graders, and they're like, so how do you get involved in government? He says, well, what would you like to do? I want to be a doctor. He says, well, we have a wellness clinic, and we could hire you at the city. Well, I want to be an architect. I says, well, guess what? We need buildings built and plans drawn. You could work for the city. And I went down almost every student with what their personal career goal and tied it to government, because that was something that I personally didn't even realize. And for me, it was that moment for that student that could say, when I get my degree, maybe, and I'm looking for a job that's steady, as Maylee mentioned, that provides benefits and a good pension or 401k.
Sure.
That's, remember Josiah's mom said government.
Right.
And that's what I was hoping to stick in those kids' brains, that there is a place for you in your local government. Don't have to go to federal. We're right here. Come on down.
And even some of the other industries, as great as they might be to link up with someone's career aspirations, people often don't think of local government as that place, right?
100%.
Yeah. Well, and then some of those kinds of things, when you talk to folks like you, whether it's on the podcast or otherwise, that sort of just fell into it, or like, I had no idea. It's such a cool thing to hear, because my background's very different, where my dad was a city manager and kind of grew up with that. My mom worked for county public health. So this is my path is the anomaly. My path is the one where I always kind of knew. But then it's so interesting to hear how people actually got into it, and those stories come from all over the place, and it's such a cool thing. And particularly those who have just that pride of service for their community, to be like, I found this, and these are my people, this is my place. And it's like, yes, local government. We're here, we're doing it.
Absolutely.
And so to what you're saying with LFLG, with the Florida chapter, as I was mentioning, our focus next year is membership engagement. My goal personally is for city managers, directors to feel like they can be an everyday civic leader in our events, and along with their staff and their admins. Like, I can be me. I can celebrate my culture. I can get professional development, get poured into, and find joy again. Yeah.
Well, and I think, at any point in the history of local government, it can be a lot, right? It can be very heavy. It can be sticky. There can be, community members, up in arms and angry about a choice that the elected body makes. But I feel like, the more we go on in history, the harder it is in this space, because new things are introduced all the time. Right. We have social media, we have AI, we have all of these things that makes the job so much more difficult. And this kind of space at LGHN of like finding your people and having that support system and being able to lift up and pull up, so you get to a place, you're not pulling up the ladder behind you, right? You're lifting the people up the ladder with you.
Right. Yes.
That's really important when you have this space of bringing your whole self to work and being able to celebrate your culture.
100%.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the accomplishments have been of the organization. It's relatively new, right, but there's a lot of things I'm sure that you've accomplished in this short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, the networking has been huge with our organization. We've done quite a few networking events. We try to do one every quarter. And so the South Florida region has really grown, and we're trying to, especially here at ICMA for this conference, we're trying to get out to the local governments here. Yeah. In Tampa, Orlando, Kissimmee, all of the Central Florida area. We want to get our name out there, so that way they want to be a part of our organization, so we can grow. We are also engaging and doing webinars. We actually have a webinar that we're going to be hosting very soon in December. I believe it's December 11th is going to be the date.
Okay.
That one is going to be, we have a police officer, a firefighter, and a PIO person. It's going to be based off of emergency preparedness from different aspects, and even including mental health. So, one of the things that we want to do next year is have regular webinars, not only for the Florida chapter, but that, and like the one in December is going to be for the national chapter.
Oh, wow.
Everyone.
Okay, great.
So all of LGHN.
Yeah.
And so, we're really trying to just grow as an organization.
Be there
get
for
more
each other.
members,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and the emergency response is a timely topic for Florida. So a lot of the kind of weather systems that come through, really affect some of the communities. I remember being at ICMA last year in Pittsburgh, and we were in a conversation about the future conferences, and all of the Florida folks had to go because they all got the emergency alerts on their phone in the middle of the meeting.
Wow.
And so we're like, be safe, take care, but have some of those kinds of emergencies affected your communities that you work for?
Most certainly. Well, in 2023, in April of 2023, the city of Fort Lauderdale had a major flood. It was not hurricane related at all. It was like somebody turned on the bath faucet and let it run.
That's pretty
And
bad.
we got about 28 inches of water in a very short amount of time. And it affected, the city of Fort Lauderdale, some parts of Dania, and neighboring Hollywood.
Okay.
But it was so bad that the basement flooded for City Hall. That all our electrical went out, and therefore City Hall was destroyed, pretty much.
My goodness.
And I was part of the evacuation crew in the next couple of days of people placing, where is this building of 8 stories going to find space for staff? How are we going to hybrid? How are we going to do that recovery effort?
Yeah.
So fast forward to now, we still don't have a city hall.
Oh, gosh.
It's been demolished. We have an empty space there, but we will rebuild. Yes, we will.
Yeah.
RFP has gone out. We've got the unsolicited proposals, all the good stuff. But again, these are things that you can't predict. Nobody could have predicted this. No stormwater system would have been prepared for anything like this. And putting aside City Hall, residents' homes were flooded. It was, and I don't want to compare, but it was as if it was like Katrina, that we didn't know was going to happen.
Right.
So thankfully we rallied our congressman, our governor, every possible ally, and we were able to get it declared as a national disaster so we could get FEMA funding for residents and business owners to get things rolling again. And it's really happy to say the way our community came out and supported was just amazing. Disasters happen, but local government's there to answer the call and show up and get the work done.
Yeah, well, and some of those opportunities brings out the best in people.
Yes.
But it also, these webinars give space for your members to be able to kind of talk about those things and to feel like they're not alone.
And best practices on how to handle that, especially when it comes to PIO, how to communicate the right information, where to do the business SBA loans, where to sign up, and all of those things.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, we have one of my firefighters, my chief firefighter. He is going to be also talking on the mental health aspect of an emergency.
Yeah,
because that's not something that a lot of people talk about. And so, we have these first responders out there that are dealing with these chaos with whatever it is, and they need the mental health there. They need to be able to know that we're there for them, so that way they can continue doing their job. And then in our community, we haven't really had many emergency situations lately. However, our city is always there to help. So whenever there's a hurricane on the West Coast, we've had firefighters, we had public works people, we have all kinds of utilities. all kinds of people from different departments go to those municipalities to help.
Aid.
Yeah, we're mutual aid. We definitely are there for, not just our community, for our surrounding communities as well.
Yeah. Well, and that ability to kind of speak the unspoken into the world around mental health is so important. First responders or otherwise, but certainly for first responders, is a great kind of addition from a content standpoint to the world, but to membership, right? In the space of where you kind of normalizing, it's okay to talk about these things, and there are coping strategies and ways in which, kind of the adage about putting on your oxygen mask before you assist others, right? If you can't help yourself, you're not going to show up for your community 100%. That impacts you and your ability to serve. Absolutely. You really have to have that focus, on your own mental health to be able to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about kind of this aspect of bringing together folks who come from a particular culture to celebrate that culture and have a particular lived experience. As Latinas in public service, are there any particular notable experiences that have led to some key learning moments for you along your career? Maybe let's start with you.
Honestly, I'm the type of person that I do better when I'm challenged. And I've been challenged where I've been told, "Oh, you're a single mom of two, and you're not going to be able to achieve that goal. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that." I was like, okay, watch me,
Just you wait and see.
Just wait a minute. So I've been told many times, "Oh, I don't think you're going to be able to do that." And
this is not for you.
For me, I'm like, "Oh, I'm Latina. I am a single mom of two girls. But let me tell you, I got my master's degree. I am." I've gotten in positions that it's been hard for people to get into in certain positions.
Sure.
I've achieved a lot of things in my life, and for me, being Latina is part of that. Just being able to reach multiple organizations, multiple communities. In most of my municipalities that I've worked at, I've been the only Latina. So who's the person that they reach to when, we only have a Spanish speaker on the phone? So I can reach out to multiple communities, whereas other people might just be able to not. They just, speak in English, and that's it. And I'm over here, I can speak to organizations, multiple organizations in Spanish. I'm part of the Florida American Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I've been on panels for women in leadership. I've been on panels I'm actually going to, for that organization, I'm going to be the MC at a gala that they're having next month.
That's very cool.
So there's a lot of power in being able to speak multiple languages, and just being a Latina is just it's empowering.
Yeah, it sure is. You should see the look on your face, and it is so special. I love it so very much. Well, and I think that's the really great thing about being able to be from a particular kind of space and place and time, from a particular culture. There's a lot of value add, I think, in this aspect of being able to be the even if you're not the only one, being able to be the face of trust and credibility with the community.
Yeah, I mean, especially with what's going on right now, where there's not a lot of trust in government, and then when you see a friendly face, but then it's a friendly face that's a Latina or a Latino, they can communicate with this person, hey, with ICE and everything that's going on with that, they can trust us a little bit more, where we're here to help. There's so much going on in South Florida where this issue is happening, and so I personally reach out to people. There's people who are scared to come to events sometimes, and they're where there's not going to be a lot of Latinos coming to the Latino event because they're afraid that ICE is going to show up and take them. And so it's and I went out there and I was like, look, you're in a safe community. Like, we're safe. This event's safe. We're not,
Sure.
so.
Well, being in that space and still encouraging, people is, I mean, we're in a very different world right now. But in that case, being able to say, hey, this is still here. It's for you. It's for your community.
Right.
We as local government are still showing up, still providing service.
100%.
Like our mission to serve our communities don't change. Right. And that's
that part.
That's something that's very special as a local government, kind of regardless of your background or lived experience or culture, is we have this call for service and we're still going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know with FCCMA, I've been a part of FCCMA for many years. I was a student a member for FCCMA, and I remember showing up to the executive board team, and I was told by my boss at the time, he's like, hey kid, you're gonna be on that board one day, because he's like all it is, he's like, we need more representation.
Sure.
Right? So the majority of the board, white males. And I'm like, I'm over here, I'm gonna be on that board. I hit a couple of different notes here. I'm Latina, I'm a woman, like, I'm gonna be on that board, So.
I love that your boss saw that in you and was like, here, this is what we're doing.
Yes.
Yes. And you've probably been recalled in certain other ways too in this space about, kind of who you are and the culture that you bring.
And to Maylee's point, representation matters. So I've been a little bit of the opposite, and Maylee and I are pretty close in age. However, she's been in local government a bit longer than I am. And when I met Maylee actually at an NFBPA event, National Forum for Black Public Administrators, I was like, oh, there's someone like me.
Yeah.
And I'm Caribbean Latino, but I was like, oh wait, she's Latina. Yes. I felt represented.
Yeah.
I found a comrade, a colleague there. And so we've worked together in that professional space, and it's just been so special. And she empowered me, like, I could do this. I was going through a divorce. I'm going to be a single mom of 4. Well, she's a single mom of 2. What's my excuse? And she's been a single mom of 2 much longer than me. So what do I have, to complain or cry over? And then seeing women empowered in local government, men as well, just going through that as quote unquote people of color. Okay, I don't want to say minority. We're persons of color. Yep. And we've grown. They've got doctorate degrees and positions of excellence, and it's just like, okay, sign me up. How do I become that? Yeah. I'm following in their footsteps, and they're willing to help me and mentor me and come alongside me. So that's so special in these professional organizations where you see yourself, you find a space. We have that common thread that makes us feel safe.
Well, in a lot of those spaces, you just talked about a myriad of dynamics of kind of who you are in your lived experience, and then that intersectionality is really interesting when you come to the space, because on the base level, regardless of who we are, we all have this call. Many of us, are here because of this call for public service, and then you find your people, right? And I feel like that's such an important part of a lot of the groups that we're in, ELGL included, is this aspect of like, you find your people. And that in and of itself is joyful and helps lift people up, in addition to all of the really great things like LGHN does for professional development. Right. And so that's a pretty cool space to be in, because it clicks. Yes. I don't know how else to describe it, but like it clicks. Yeah.
And it's so special with these organizations. And I believe at their core, that's their purpose, is to find your people. Not every people is going to be your people, but we can all work together for a common goal, which is servant leadership, serving our communities, leading us to clean streets, working water, safe housing, good schools, and being around, camaraderie and joy.
Yeah, well, and I really do feel like the richness of what we do when we work together is better when you have all of the different cultures and lived experiences at the table for those discussions, whether it's professionals to professionals or professionals with and for and in community, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's part the cool part of local government.
Yeah.
So you both are moms. You both have spent time in spaces where you're emceeing a gala or you're sitting on a panel. Mm-hmm. As a Latina who has chosen this career of public service, what advice would you give to the people who are like up next for leadership or the next generation of local government Latinas?
Lean into your culture. You are who you are. Don't hide it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Sometimes it may feel like you don't belong in the room, but you're there for a reason. Your perspective, your learned experience matters. You bring something to the table that others may not consider, and they bring something to the table too. So that collaboration is so key. So own it. Wear that bright blazer.
which, by the way, she does. And she and I are matching orange on today. So yes. I was very excited about that when she walked into the room.
Or like my colleague, Maylee, who always has the coolest earrings.
Yes.
Her earrings are cassette tapes today. Which for me was like, wow, she feels so comfortable with herself to do that. You don't have to wear pearls or, just something dainty. Now, if that's your thing, go for it, girl. You know, dig into it. But, for men, wear that funky socks, wear that cool tie, but lean into who you are and own it.
Yeah.
I think a big part is networking. Networking is huge, especially for next generation for succession planning.
Sure.
I started the ICMA student chapter in FAU when I was in my bachelor's, and I was the president through my master's. Currently, we are, I'm still part of the School of Public Administration Advisory Board for FAU.
Oh, good.
And they called me and they're like, hey, we need to revive this ICMA chapter. And I was like, I'm there. I'm in. So they each year they come and have me talk to the intro students for the MPA program. But when I came to talk to them this year, it was also, let's get this ICMA student chapter open again. And over the past couple of years, when I was there, when I was the president, we had a networking event every single time. Every year, we had a networking event where it was, the first year was like a panel discussion. So lots of city managers came and students were there, and I got them to mingle. And, like usually people congregate with their people, so like the city managers were hanging out and talking, and I was like, no, we're not doing this. So
mingle.
Like drag them to where the students are at, and drag the students to where the city managers are at. So, and then the following year we had like a roundtable discussions where it was like 15 minutes per table, and the students would move, the city managers would
speed
sit.
Dating.
Yeah. So we had that kind of conversation, and so we're going to start this again. We're reviving it, and because succession planning is so important to bring in that next generation of public administrators. So I told them, I was like, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get this started. So there's a group of students that I'm working with to revive it, but it's not just city managers that I want. I told them, I said, look, nobody knows what a city clerk does for the most part.
Right.
You say, I'm a city clerk, and they're like, oh, I pay my tickets to you. And I'm like, no. That's the county. That's the county clerk. Like, you don't do that. I do so much more. And so I want different department heads or different people within the organizations. Like the city, my city, I think there's 15 or 16 departments. I want people from different departments so that way the students at public administration in the public administration program know that there's multiple avenues to get to the top.
Right.
Or multiple, you might not want to be a city manager, you might want to be the public works director.
Sure.
So, and networking is a huge part of that. So, and get involved in organizations and get involved in, when I was in the clerks, when I was trying to get my master municipal clerk designation, I was involved in all of the committees and not only locally, but it was statewide and nationwide. So networking has actually gotten me all of my job. This is my 5th municipality right now. So from my first one to my 5th one, they've come looking for me and said, "Hey, we have a position open. I need you to apply." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know." And they're like, "No.
No, really.
You need to apply."
We
and
want
I'm like,
you.
"Okay, got you. I got it.
Heard.
So heard. So networking is a huge reason why I've been able to just continuously grow within my professionally. So.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if there's someone who is interested in the Local Government Hispanic Network and the Florida chapter, how should they go about getting themselves involved, and where can people find more information about it?
I would say just go on the website, lghn.org.
Or they can reach out to us. We have an email that's for the Florida chapter. But if somebody wants to reach out to me, I'll talk to them.
Yes.
I
We're
love
nice.
talking.
We don't bite.
Right.
we like
our Florida email is florida@lghn.org.
Yes.
So very simple, and we love to engage, network, help your municipality become a member, because again, once the municipality is a member, the entire community, the entire staff is covered as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's for a city with 1,000 or less employees, it's $750. So what other organization is that cheap for everybody
in your organization
to join? And then for over 1,000, I believe it's $1,250.
Yep.
Yeah.
So again, it's not expensive.
It's not going to break your annual fiscal budget. Okay.
There you go. Well, and there's a lot of value there for the members, that you all drive on your different committees and everything else. And I would assume that if you have committees, you also have opportunities for people who want to be more engaged too, right?
Absolutely, and that is the key, because as we mentioned, in local government, many times you are in your department, you have your specific duties, and that's what you stick to. But if you on the side love event planning or enjoy getting into financial and the numbers and whatnot, you have an opportunity to do that and demonstrate those skills within our organization. Help host an event, do the budgeting for a forum or a conference that we'd like to put on, and expand your skill sets, which also goes back onto your resume,
Right.
as
That's
things
right.
that you've accomplished that you may not have been otherwise able to do under your current role.
Yeah.
And again, that's how Maylee and I have been able to network and position ourselves into different positions.
Into new promotions.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't reach only just the local government. We reach out nationally, but internationally too. We actually have the LGHN has an international committee.
Excellent.
I'm part of the international committee, so I've been to in Puerto Rico. There was a conference, Experiencia Puerto Rico, and I went there last year, and I had a blast. And I, talking to people about our organization, about LGHN, and we're affiliated with the ICMA, and we're affiliated with NFBPA, and so there's a lot of things that you can do being a part of LGHN. I loved being able to talk to people in Puerto Rico about what I do in my city, and certification. That's one thing that we're trying to bring internationally, is something like a certified program.
Sure.
City managers have a certified program. City clerks have a certified program. So there's different things that we're trying to help, not just locally but internationally too.
Yeah. Well, and foundational issues are the same.
Yes.
In country to country, city to city. That's why these groups exist. Is because there is some shared experience there, and those professional opportunities, or the networking, or the opportunity to kind of level up some of your skills is useful for many people in these spaces.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, great work on the new chapter. I'm very excited to kind of follow along and watch as you grow. We're going to wrap up today, so let's talk about if you could be the GovLove DJ. What song would you pick as the exit music for this episode?
Well, back in my time growing up, there was this phrase of take a photo, it lasts longer. So the song that I choose is Bad Bunny's Debí Tirar Más Fotos, because we need to stop and enjoy the moment.
I love that.
And remember it. And go back to your photos scroll and be like, oh my gosh, look how much fun, and have that memory. And if you're old school and you have an actual album, open that album and look and remember the times of your local government days, that walk that you participated in, that volunteer thing that you did with CARES Day, or that major project that was like, wow, I can't believe I did that. You know, so take a picture. It lasts longer.
I originally would go with probably this right here. Por la mañana café, por la tarde ron. Because it's so upbeat and it's like, well, to get through the day, coffee in the morning. Maybe a little drink at night, but that song is probably something that I would be like, yes, let's get hyped up and let's get through this day. And
you have a sticker on your water bottle just to remind you, which I very much appreciate.
I'm a huge Bad Bunny fan. So. Yes, I represent all over the place.
Yes.
I can't go anywhere without people like, yo, she's Puerto Rican.
For sure.
Yep, live it proud.
Yeah.
All right, well, ladies, thank you both for joining me today on our GovLove podcast. I really appreciate it. That ends our GovLove episode for today. A big thanks to Amber and Maylee for joining the podcast. Subscribe to GovLove on your favorite podcast app. New episodes drop every Friday. If you are already subscribed to GovLove, go tell a friend or colleague about this podcast or share on social media. Help us spread the word that GovLove is the go-to place for local government stories. GovLove is brought to you by ELGL, Engaging Local Government Leaders. The best way to support GovLove is to become an ELGL member. You can reach us online at elgl.org/GovLove or at GovLove Podcast on LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. Thanks for listening. This has been GovLove, a podcast about local government.
Ya se terminó, ey. Que prendan las máquinas, voy pa' Santurce. Aquí todavía se da caña, chequeate la baby. Diablo, mami, qué dulce. Hoy yo quiero beber y hablar mierda hasta que me expulsen. Estoy bien loco. Cabrón, guía tú que estás caminando, yo estoy que choco. Estoy bien loco. Vamos a disfrutar que nunca se sabe si nos queda poco. Debí tirar más. Gente, los quiero con cojones, los amo. Gracias por